You want to know what I'm reading? Well, it's called Timelines from Black History, Leaders, Legends, Legacies. It's got incredible foreword by Mireille Harper, and it's been published by DK Books. And I think today I might be able to share a little bit of it with you. Does it sound cool? Let's do it. Okay. So one of my favourite pages in this book is right at the very beginning, and it's all about early African kingdoms. And I love it because it's got this picture of the Axon Obelisk, which is just another word for a tall pillar, a really tall pillar. And it says here, the Axum Empire created some highly distinctive architecture. Their carved granite obelisks, tall pillars, are believed to mark the location of underground tombs of the kingdoms of previous rulers. This one stands in the ancient city of Axum, Ethiopia. Oh, maybe you could go there one day. And it has all this information about different places that used to exist in Africa way before even the Roman time. Stuff about ancient Egypt, places like the kingdom of Punt and the kingdom of Kush, and even goes on to talk about the first Christian state in Africa, wow, and the empire of Ghana and Zimbabwe and Mali. So, speaking of Zimbabwe, I just want to show you this incredible picture. Great Zimbabwe. So I'll read it to you. Ancestors of the modern-day Shona people in southern Africa established the impressive kingdom of Zimbabwe about 1,000 years ago. At the height of its power, the capital city, Great Zimbabwe, may have been home to more than 18,000 people. At its center, protected by 11-meter tall walls, 11-meter tall walls. I'm not even 2 meters tall. Wow, that's really tall. Is the Imbrahuru Great Enclosure, just in the book. And it is thought to have housed the royal family and other important people. For years, many non-Africans disputed the achievements of the Kingdom of Zimbabwe, wrongly stating that Black Africans could not have built a society and monuments of this complexity. Well, that sounds pretty silly to me. Let's have a look at Olaudah Ecuiano. It says here, he was born in the Ibo region of modern-day Nigeria. My family's from the Ibo region of Nigeria, so I think that's why his story's so close to me. And he was kidnapped at age 11 with his sister and enslaved and taken across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. So he worked for a man called Michael Pascal in the end. He was sold to him, an officer in the British Royal Navy. He also ended up being sold later on to a man called Robert King, a wealthy merchant. And so through this, he learnt a lot of skills at sea. He became a very experienced seafarer. And when he earned enough money at the age of 21 to free himself, he went on to explore the world. And all of this meant that he became a leading voice in the abolition of slavery. Okay, so this page is really new information to me, and I'm really excited to share it with you. This is all about Tetu Batul, who was a warrior empress who fought off colonial invasion in Ethiopia. She was the wife of King Menelik II. I'll show you this incredible page here. And you can see there this painting. This is a painting of the Battle of Adwa. Painting by an anonymous artist hangs in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Tetu Batul and Menelik II look on from horseback as the Ethiopian and Italian armies clash in. So it says here, as European countries greedily seized huge parts of Africa, Ethiopia was one of the just 2 African countries that were able to resist. Tetu Batul, the Empress of Ethiopia, helped to give her nation the hope and strategy it needed to overcome much better supply Italian armies. Her story in particular, her brave and intelligent leadership during the war with Italy, have been celebrated by Ethiopians ever since. Wow, I want to read all about this. I knew a little bit about the scramble for Africa, but really I didn't know much about the story with Ethiopia, so I think this is really exciting. I just wanted to share that one with you. So this next bit I want to share with you jumps way ahead after colonization, which is a word you might have heard me use, which is a word, I guess, that's used to talk about when one country invades another and takes over the land and the culture of the indigenous people that were originally there. And that's what happened in Africa, in a lot of Africa, which is what they call the scramble for Africa. So we're going to jump ahead to post-colonial Africa, which means post-colonial means after colonization. So we're talking about in the 1950s and 60s, which really is only about 60 years ago, when many countries in Africa gained their independence from colonial rule and were no longer ruled by the Queen. And this page is one of my favorites because it's so beautiful and there's so much information on it. I will show you. Stunning, right? So there's information here about Ghanaian independence, South Sudan, Angola, Congo, Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda. So important to learn all about this. And the next page is about Kwame Nkrumah and the Ghanaian independence. And then there's an incredible photograph here, which I'll show you in a second. In this photograph, officials from the Ghanaian government carry revolutionary and politician Kwame Nkrumah aloft to celebrate Ghana's independence from British rule in 1957. Nkrumah led the campaign for independence and became the country's first president in 1960, only 60 years ago. He was a supporter of Pan-Africanism, a worldwide movement that aims to strengthen the cultural bonds between all people of African descent. He also helped to set up the Organization of African Unity, a political body set up in 1963 that aimed to improve the lives of Africans living on the continent. I'll show you now. Looks like a really cool guy, doesn't he? So before I go, I want to share one last page with you. It's all about Josephine Baker, and she's a hero of mine. She was a performer like me, and she started off in the US on Broadway, moved to Paris, and she could speak French. She was in French films, and she even had a family of her own. She adopted 12 children. But one of my favorite things that I learned about her from this book, which I didn't know, was that she was a secret agent in World War II. I'll read this to you. While on tour during World War II, Josephine works as a spy. She passes on secrets about German troop movements written on music scores for the French resistance, the anti-Nazi movement. After the war, Josephine becomes the first American woman to be honored by the French government for her actions during the war. That's really cool, isn't it? He even inspired Beyonce. So I think that's a sign that she's pretty cool. That was Josephine Baker. So that is Timelines from Black History. Leaders, legends, legacies. And I would definitely recommend it as a great book to read. Thanks for listening. See you soon.